Jaguars-Colts was the start of the madness. The Jaguars upset the Colts 26-11. Trevor Lawrence looked like a real quarterback for once. And the Colts, Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. My pinky is safe. I know that people wanted them to make the playoffs for my pinky. I am happy because I was actually very nervous about the Colts. But yeah, that is an all-time, how the fuck do you lose that game? You literally went to play a 2-win team that had fired their coach a month and a half ago, had just lost by like 50, and the entire crowd were people dressed as clowns.
Yeah, I've got the data in front of me right now. That's the first time that a team that was hoping to go to the playoffs has gone on the road and lost in a clown-out environment.
Yes.
The clown-outs were previous. No one had ever won a clown game before.
It was so sad. I saw this one picture of this couple. They had a picture. They had a big poster, and they're like 10 years season ticket holders. Clown-faced, went to the game, clown-faced, 10-year season ticket holders, record 43-120. At what point are you just like, this is just punishment?
Well, also at what point, being Jaguars fans, getting dressed up as clowns, going to the game, does that become a cell phone?
A cell phone.
That's kind of you're in a major cell phone situation.
Yep.
When
Pro Max 13,
those could mean a lot of different things. Wearing clown makeup to a game, but usually you're just saying like, I am a clown for attending this game,
right? And
you would be forgiven for thinking that, being a Jaguars fan over all these years. Besides, obviously, the Blake Bortles years. But yeah, that's you also got to keep wearing clown outfits, I think, if you're Jags fans, right?
Yeah,
you're undefeated as the Clowns.
Yes, you are the Clown. Change the team name to the Clowns. I don't know what Colts fans like. This is one of those very, very difficult to wake up on Monday morning moments, because as recently as week 15, the Colts, there was legitimate buzz that the Colts were playing the best football in the NFL. I saw like Dan Orlovsky did a whole victory lap on ESPN because he called that they were going to be a playoff team.
He also would like run away and get married to Carson Wentz.
That's true. No, Matt Stafford first.
Matt Stafford, then Carson Wentz.
But it was, everyone was taking their victory lap. The Colts were in the playoffs. The Colts were a really good team. I was very nervous. They had just beaten the Patriots. They had just beaten the Cardinals. They had won a shitload of games in a row. And then they lose to the Raiders at home, and they lose to the Jaguars. And now you wake up. Again, this is very mean to Colts fans. I'm sorry, but you know this is the truth. You wake up on Monday morning. Carson Wentz is your quarterback. He's got $15 million dead cap next year. You gave up a first-round pick for him, and your team didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that if you're a Colts fan, you're not consuming any media today. You're going on. You might as well be an Amish person for this week, because you don't want to turn on a television, you don't want to open up a newspaper, you don't want to listen to a podcast.
Nope.
So if you are one of those perverted Colts fans that is listening to this on Monday morning, what's wrong?
Sorry.
I give you permission to delete this episode of this podcast and to stop listening. You should not be
download it again though.
Yeah, download it again, yes. But you don't need to be subjecting yourself to this.
I think you're embracing the suck, embracing the pain. Yes, Hank.
There's also like an insane amount of football buzz and excitement going on in downtown Indianapolis today.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So like if you have to go to work in Indianapolis, you're trying to avoid football, and it's like everyone's just jazzed up, fired up, football, and you're like, I don't even want to look at a football.
Yes, someone's going to win a national title like in your backyard, and it's going to be the pinnacle of their year, and you lost the Jaguars. And again,
with the HBO crew documenting,
yeah, that's the thing. Is like,
or whatever, crew, Amazon Prime, whatever.
Yeah, and the fact that you have Carson Wentz. So Frank Reich was asked afterwards about Carson Wentz, and he responded. He was like, is your quarterback going into next year? Like, talk about Carson Wentz. He said he did a lot, and then he also said, I think he's our quarterback.
Yeah, no.
So that, yikes, and that's a first rounder.
Yeah,
I think he's our quarterback.
Carson Wentz has had a stat line in every single game that he's been in, I think this year, where he's been at some point in the game 5 for 12.
It's so painful, too, because Colts fans, I know that you deluded yourself to thinking that he had changed. There were times when I did the same thing and was like, ooh, Carson Wentz. He's
made a few sick throws this year.
They were always, remember the game against the Titans when he did the smartest play in the world and he gave up that shovel pass interception, pick 6, instead of taking a safety? There were a lot of people being like, that was the first time he was Carson Wentz all year. Like, he's actually not turned the ball over. And then when he had to play his best football, the Raiders game, he stunk. And this game, he stunk.
Carson Wentz is still the king of making bad plays worse.
Yep.
And he'll always be that guy. You know what? I'm going to add the Colts to the list of teams that I think if Kirk Cousins was on, they could win a Super Bowl.
Maybe.
I think that a team like the Browns or the Colts, having Kirk Cousins, that's your ideal quarterback right now.
Yeah.
A guy who he won't make bad plays worse. He'll just make bad plays kind of average, and then he'll also make good plays pretty average.
Yeah, he'll make great plays a check down.
Yeah.
Right. So, Colts fans, whew. I'm just happy I have my pinky. I'm happy I have my pinky. You did have that moment where you were rooting for the Colts to win so that we got one pinky game in the playoff.
Well, yeah.
And I was
not
like, that's
just
very mean.
Hank,
but okay.
Hank and I were both doing that, but just in the name of content. It would have been good to have you sweat it out a little bit.
I do agree that watching someone be miserable in a bet scenario is good content.
Correct.
Right. Exactly.
Glad we're on the same page.
Glad we're all on the same page.
We all agree.
Yes, we all agree. Yeah, but I'm happy they're not in. Listen, I did think they had a chance. Like, as of week 15, I was like, I had the conversation with Mrs. Cat, and I was like, listen, just so you know, the Colts are playing really good. And she's like, you made this bet again?
You don't need your pinky. You don't need the tip of your pinky. If anything, that's just a signal to everybody, like, this guy really doesn't do coke.
No, it was a bad conversation, though, because we were just walking with our two kids, and she was like, why are you still making these bets? I was like, because they're fun, and it's like thrilling that the Colts are playing better, even though I wrote them off. And so there was a lot of disdain. And she also pointed out, like, you can't, I stupidly was like, well, yeah, I'll just walk into a hospital and they'll cut it off. Like, that's not how it works. They won't just dismember you.
You'd have to intentionally get the tip of it, like, infected.
Yeah.
And get like a little bit of gangrene at the end of your pinky so that they have to do a medical procedure to cut it off.
But I just want it on the record.
Take it to a mohel and get circumcised.
I want it on the record. I had that actual conversation. If people think that I'm not, like, I wouldn't take it seriously, I would. It would suck, but I was having those real life conversations of, like, oh, yeah, the Colts might make the playoffs, and they're pretty damn good, and I got to cut my pinky off.
It just would have been good to have one playoff game, just so the dream stays alive for another week.
Yeah, I mean, we had it with the Texans. We haven't had it since. I'm shocked. I thought the Jags would give them a game. I did not think the Colts would lose this game the way they did. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. It was crazy.
This was the ultimate the NFL makes no sense game.
Yeah.
When you look at what's happened to both teams in the last even 3 weeks.
Yes.
How do the Jags win this game? The only thing is, like, Trevor Lawrence, he looked really good in that first half. I think he started off 11 for 11.
Yeah. No, he looked really good.
He took a shit on Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah. Yes. He looked really, really good. So, big time Trevor Lawrence. Positive momentum going into next year.
I think we're now diehard believers in Trevor Lawrence based on the first half of this one game.